construct that alternative professional opportunities for law graduates of whatever ilk is necessarily a bad development. I mean, I'm not saying that the kinds of structures that the Times article discusses are right for everybody, but partnership track associate positions are not right for everybody either. And so I think we have to be careful about making value judgments. I mean, again, I think it's healthy for the legal profession, and I think it's healthy for legal education if there's a range of options available to graduates. Some graduates, in some ways, I think it's almost liberating, if that's the right word, for some people to say, it's okay, you know, I'm going to have a different professional identity, and it's okay if I opt to do something other than a traditional partnership track associate position. You know, if I make the decision to accept less money and perhaps less upward mobility within the firm in exchange for still what would be, you know, pretty challenging work and perhaps a somewhat more family-friendly work schedule, if that's the right term, it's okay to make that choice. Now, not many of my students make that choice or want to make that choice directly out of law school. So, but I guess the more fundamental point I want to make is I think we have to be careful about assuming that this is necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it may be bad because people are earning less money and it may not have the kind of prestige associated with it, but for certain individuals, it's a good choice. I wanted to make that point. I have to say, we're seeing our students just being remarkably hardworking and resilient and flexible. Part of that, I think, is because they came to law school with their eyes wide open about the realities of the economy and the job market. You know, my heart goes out to people where the rules of the game literally changed on them midstream. But the students who are there now, they knew what they were facing, and I think because of that, I mean, they all work very hard, but I think they're approaching this job search process with a different type of resolve, I think, if that's the right word. They're working very hard. They're taking advantage of every kind of opportunity that's out there in terms of programming and networking, and they realize, I think, going back to what we were talking about before, that they need to be creative about how they're going to build their portfolio of experience and how they're going to build their contact base. There's been some discussion before about experiential learning. Our externship enrollment has increased 45% over the course of the last 3 years, and I think that's an indication of students realizing that they need to look for ways to build their professional portfolio and enhance their skills. I think students are learning, and I hope this will inure to the benefit of firms, that they're learning that they really need